Hi everyone, Aaron here from Goddard Garage. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, Goddard Garage, I might be posting it on Goddard Adventure. I'm trying to get my subscriber count up a little bit higher. So if you could do me a favor and go over and subscribe to Goddard Garage. We have not breached the 1,000 subscriber threshold needed to monetize that channel. Today we find ourselves in my 2007 lifted Honda Pilot. It's sitting at 309,000 miles showing on the odometer. That's before factoring in the odometer error from our oversized tires. So we are well over 300,000 miles in this vehicle. Now this vehicle has started idling rough. I'd say it's been doing it, I don't know, for the past year or so. Ever since right around the trip to Colorado. It happened before the trip to Colorado. When we changed out our head gaskets and replaced our heads, it did for a moment actually idle better, but then the rough idle kind of came back. The warmer the engine is, the less it idles rough. Right now you can hear it kind of idling away, but the engine's pretty warm at this point, so it's not doing too bad. But if the engine is cold, it idles pretty rough, and it'll actually throw a code. I was trying to see if I could get it to throw a code right now, because this video is going to be showing off the Elite version 2 scanner that I was sent to review. It's a bi-directional scanner, and I wanted to talk about bi-directional scanners and the difference between them and your average kind of cheap scanner and why you might want to purchase one. Alright, so those who follow the channel know that my car repairs have kind of come a long ways. I always kind of explain car repair to people, at least for me personally. It's kind of like Legos. You basically just follow the instructions, and some instructions, some parts are harder than others. So as you're doing car repair, you just start out small, follow the directions, and eventually what seemed complex, initially becomes something that you can wrap your head around and understand. And when you're doing car repair as a driveway mechanic, the worst case scenario is really like unexpectedly broken bolt heads and things like that. As long as stuff like that doesn't happen, seized bolts and things like that, then normally it's as simple as following the instructions. But back in the day when we first purchased this 2007 Honda Pilot, I found myself needing to scan my car and read the check engine codes. Believe it or not, we've actually had quite a few check engine codes with this vehicle. And over the years, we've had it a long time. And when we first were looking for, an item to kind of fulfill that need, I purchased this OB2 scanner called Faux Seal, which is pretty funny. It's the improved version, and it is a Wi-Fi OBD2 scanner. So this lets you hook it up to your OBD2 port, and it lets you use an app on your phone to read the OBD2 settings. Depending on the app on your phone, the app's kind of like the interface. This is just the interface, and the app is kind of like the power horse there. And most of those apps only let you do surface level scanning, so not bi-directional scanning. And this tool right here, I've used it on the fly. We'd get a check engine light while we're traveling to Florida on a really long trip, and I'd be like, what is this? And so I could just carefully plug this in, get it hooked up to my phone, and find out really quickly why our car just threw a check engine light. One time we had a misfiring cylinder, and my car was really doing bad, especially over 55 mile an hour on the interstate. And we pulled over, flipped in this thing, scanned it right there at the AutoZone parking lot. I was able to install a new ignition coil, and we were off on our way. And my wife couldn't believe how quick we were able to do that repair. And it was all because I was able to get the right code out of the car. Now fast forward to later in this car's history, and it blew a head gasket on the way back from Florida. This is later than when we purchased this first scanner, and that was a lot bigger repair for me. It was definitely something where all of my years of experience allowed me to succeed in that repair. I definitely had unforeseen complications, as in I got 2 remanufactured heads, and they sent me 2 of the same side head, which was a real, I had to figure out, basically I had to come up with a creative path forward. And you can find that video on this channel on Goddard Adventure and Goddard Garage. And it's a pretty good watch. It turned into more of a vlog than a how-to video, but sometimes that's how my repair videos are, because I just have to get my car fixed, and I don't have all the time in the world for the most professional, step-by-step, and I don't have all the knowledge. I don't pretend to be an expert in this regard. But during that repair and around that time, I started doing kind of more advanced diagnostics on this Pilot, and I found myself needing a scanner that did bidirectional scanning. Something that could reach deeper into the system. And so I did my research, read, Amazon reviews, and I found this ThinkCar Diag scanner. And this thing was a powerhouse. It let me, I believe I needed to bleed the ABS system. I needed to do maybe like a crank relearn process. And those were just things that the phone apps just were not going to be able to do. Now, couple downsides to this right off the bat. So first of all, I love car stuff because it's always built for men and it just feels so tough. Like all these things, well, maybe not the faux seal, but all these things just feel so tough. And the ThinkDag 2, no different. So this one's kind of like the faux seal. It's a dongle, so you hook it into your car, and this pairs with the app on a phone. Now, right off the bat, I learned real quick that the ThinkDag 2 and the iPhone app were not nearly as powerful as the Android app. Thankfully, I had an Android phone, an old one, available that I wasn't using. And so I kind of just use this phone as a screen to go with it, and it kind of just stays in the kit. Let's see if it'll even turn on. Oh, yep, it's turning on. That's good. So you have to have both these things together in order to use it. Now, at the time, it seemed to me like all of the bidirectional scanners, it seemed like all of them basically gave you a free 1 year's use of their more powerful features. And so basically the idea is, instead of going to the dealer and paying them to use their scanner, you could purchase this, for a couple $100, and you could use it and forego that ticket, that cost from the dealership. So you can see it opening up the app here, and it's basically got, system diagnostic, maintenance functions, OBD functions, reports, history. So it's got, a lot of really good features there. Since we purchased this 3-year subscription has already expired. And in my mind, and, I wouldn't blame you guys for thinking the same thing, because it's really not that big a deal, but to renew it, I think it's $50. So if I find myself needing this powerful bidirectional scanner again, I would just renew it for $50. So one of the cool things about having a YouTube channel is that companies sometimes reach out to you to see if you want to demo their products. And we had this launch company reach out to me, and they wanted me to demo their version 2 of their launch. I think they call it C-Reader Creader, but it's their Elite 2.0. And one of the things that struck me right off the bat, there were two really big things. It's very similar to the ThinkDag 2. It does, all the powerful, more advanced features. But this one advertises that you don't have to pay for those services, because this is a Honda-specific version of launch. I'm going to have it linked in my Amazon affiliate store, so you can kind of check it out. You can read through, their description and all the things it can do. It is a Chinese company, so it's a little bit hard. They aren't very clear with their language. And I haven't had a chance to demo all of it, but even just opening this thing up out of the box, like, this thing feels like a tank. Like, it just is very impressive. And when I turned it on right off the bat, it just was really snappy. I like that it is like more simple in that you don't have to have a phone with you to use it. Oh my goodness. I like that you don't have to have a phone with you to use it, like this ThinkDag 2. And this tool will basically let you do a bunch of the different resets that you might have to do: crankshaft relearn, ABS reset. I believe it still lets you do the TPMS relearn. I haven't done that yet, but that's something that appeals to me, because TPMS batteries, the tire pressure monitoring system, they only last about 7 years. And so if you're a long hauler like me and you own vehicles for a long time, it's very likely that you're going to need to replace those sensors. And to be honest, it's not that hard to do it yourself, but you have to be able to reset it. All right, so I've got the scanner hooked up here in the Honda Pilot, and I wanted to take a moment to go over the current price. This unit is currently on sale, 20% off, is $151. And I'm pretty sure back in the day when I was buying this ThinkDag, I would have settled on this launch scanner just for the fact that there's not a subscription model for the advanced Honda features. I think it's pretty cool that Launch made a scanner that's dedicated for Hondas that doesn't operate off of a subscription model. Now, if you wanted to add more scanning capability for other models, other brands, you would have to work with the company, and I believe there is a fee there. But for this Honda branded one, you're pretty much good to go for Hondas. Now, I haven't done a lot of testing here for what we're about to experience, so we're gonna kind of experience this together. But I'm gonna hit auto detect and see what it does. We've got it hooked up. I've just got the kind of like accessory power on. Last time it tried to read the VIN on this vehicle, I think it told me that the vehicle was not compatible with a VIN scan. That might be something to do with the age of the vehicle. Oh, it got it. Let's do system detection. It'd be really cool if this scanner could tell me some information about this Pilot and this rough idle issue right off the bat. I don't know how smart, we are in the USA. I don't know how smart the diagnostic options are, like, you know, if you have to drill in and do a specific diagnostic scan, which is probably how it works. Well, let's see what options it gives us here. Verify the engine is not running. The ignition should be on, but the engine should not be running. Shift into park or neutral. Okay. All right, so it's doing a health report here. Oh my. Oh. Kind of seemed like it might have found some fault codes already. That's gonna be interesting to see. It just goes through each of the different protocols, scanning different systems to see if there is a fault code. And as you can see, a lot of these systems aren't equipped on this 2007 Honda Pilot. Almost complete. But we can scroll down now and see that it found codes here. So we got a circuit high voltage on the PGM FI system. We've got battery voltage failure, brake fluid low, ECM PCM relation failure. I'll definitely have to go check that fluid here shortly. Got a body electrical system, battery voltage issue potentially. We got basically I had my tires low for the all-wheel drive festival, so that doesn't really surprise me. And we've got a powertrain system failure here with the VTM4 system. So we definitely want to keep our VTM4 system healthy as long as possible in this Honda here. But those are all different codes that you wouldn't have options to see really with a traditional scanner. You got to have one of these more expensive scanners. So let's share this with myself. So you can clear the codes. One thing to note is when you clear certain systems with this more powerful scanner, you want to make sure that you understand the consequences. In the past, I forget exactly what I did, but I cleared a code, but after clearing the code for the particular system, or at least the way the scanner was doing it, I had to do a relearn procedure afterwards. So that was pretty scary there for a moment, because I actually reset it and had to do a relearn, and until I did the relearn, it really wasn't operating very well. So we're gonna click back again. So these different diagnostics, I think, give you different options. Let's see. See what happens if we go into the Honda Dongfeng. See what options it gives us. So you kind of got to know what you have here. I just clicked the first one because it had the most pins, which clearly is going to be correct. So look at that, that's pretty cool. So potentially this scan tool can actually help you reprogram your keys and your immobilizer, sensor reset. So you can see there's just a lot of stuff. EGR, valve learning. Some of that stuff might be actually what I need to get the vehicle idling better again when it's cold. But you know, these tools are just really powerful, and I do think that this particular scanner seems to be the best value on the market. I don't see anything here that would, you know, cause me to not decide to purchase it if I was in the market for one. But do your research as well. Looks like it's got some updates. So there you have it. We found some different codes that I wasn't even aware that I had, because, you know, it's not throwing a check engine light. This scanner is able to kind of dig down deeper in the system, and those codes could be something that helps me shed light on my idling issue. You know, I'm going to be able to look at like a live stream of data, try to figure out what's happening there. It has advanced features. It even looks like it can program keys, which that alone would save you probably the cost of the item itself. But anyways, I'm gonna keep experimenting with this. It's definitely a tool that I'm excited to have in my arsenal. Let me know what scan tools you guys use. Do you have a preference? I'm sure some of you guys are probably certified Honda techs that have access to the real deal. But for me, being a just driveway mechanic, tools like this are very valuable. And I hope you guys learned a little bit about the Launch Elite 2.0. And we'll catch you guys on the next adventure or on the next repair. Hopefully we can get this Pilot cleaned up, give it a little bit of love and care as well. It's been a little neglected, but still driving around just fine, and a good family hauler. So we'll see you guys later. Aaron out.